Hey everyone, this is Systemshark bringing to you guys another audio commentary for WCReplays.com. This audio commentary copyrighted 2007 WCReplays.com, so don't go stealing it, jerkos. Alright guys, get the first replay file synced up at the 2-minute mark at the 1x speed, and we'll get it unpaused here in a short while after I give you guys a short introduction. I'm back this time to Orc, guys, and I'm going to be rolling back time here, going back to when dots were crazy. Actually, these are replays I'm going to be featuring on are from both being played by MYM Focus as the Orc player, and both on Turtle Rock, and both up against the exact same strategy, dots, and with the Tri-Hero, Demon Hunter, Beastmaster, and Tinker. So I'm going to go over into the ins and outs of this matchup, and one of these replays he's going to win, and one of these he's going to lose. I'll ruin it for you. The first replay he loses, and the second one he's actually going to be winning. Some interesting facts about this replay. It was actually played on April Fool's Day. It was the NGL Finals, and MYM Focus actually had over 400 APM on average this game, so either a lot of spamming or just insanely crazy, whereas World Elite Soju actually had 318 APM, so really high APM by both players here. And this is actually a little bit strange for me since I don't normally do audio commentaries on professional or semi-professional players. I tend to stick to the average Joe because I think that they can you know, kind of help people out more on their at the level of the people that are actually watching these things. So, but still, I think we're going to be able to learn something about this matchup and these tactics involved, and I can kind of break down why these players are choosing certain units and certain heroes and what the reasoning behind the certain moves and stuff that they do, and I'll break it down to you as soon as we get the replay file synced up. I'm going to do this first audio, and then I'm going to probably cut it off and then start the second one just so I can focus on each individual replay and make for a better one at the end. Alright, go ahead, and if you're not there already at the 2-minute mark at the 1x speed, go ahead and pause this audio portion of the audio commentary and sync up the replay at the 2-minute mark at the 1x speed. Fog of War off. It doesn't matter whose vision you're on. I never really pay attention to that. I'll be switching back and forth using the F11 key to compare army sizes throughout the commentary, so if you guys want to stay at your computer, be active. And actually, I will be dropping the replay speed to half speed. We'll just say it at the 10:30 mark, so if you guys want to watch for that, I'll try to sync it up as well, so we can watch an interesting battle that's going to go down. We'll actually look at the micro decisions and things like that. Alright, so if you guys are there, that's great. If not, get there, and we're going to go ahead and unpause this commentary. 5 seconds, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. Alright, this is Turtle Rock, and this is actually one of my favorite maps, so that's why the last audio commentary was on Human Mirror, and I did 2 replays both on Turtle Rock, and this is again on 2 replays on Turtle Rock. One of my favorite maps, and I think it's probably one of the more balanced maps, depending on spawn location, and that's definitely arguable by the semi-professional and professional players. If you ask them, you know, if a Night Elf player spawns close to a human on Turtle Rock, it's a completely different game to whether if they spawn cross-map. However, in both these maps, just like in my last one, I actually got them spawning in the exact same spawning location, which is going to be a cross-map too. So this first replay, what we're going to notice is both players are opting for very standard hero choices. This is again going to be very cookie cutter, and that's just so we can kind of learn of what the cookie cutter basic way of doing things is going to be. So Blade Master for the Orc player, which is Meet Your Maker's Focus, and Demon Hunter for World Elite Soju. This is, as I said before, the NGL Finals, so this is a pretty important match for these players. And again, this was a match played on April 1st, so a little bit earlier there. Both players opting to not necessarily do a lot of creeping early on. The Night Elf player has opted to use that Ancient of War creeping, which is a very popular tactic on Turtle Rock. You start the creeping with an archer, and then you move your archers back, and the creeps start attacking your Ancient of War, and you can creep those out while you're harassing with your Demon Hunter, or while you're creeping another camp, or whatever you're doing with your Demon Hunter. So both players are doing a really good job, actually, of defending their base versus a harass. And no matter what race you are versus an Orc player, you're going to have to learn how to defend against harass. It's one of the biggest things. An Orc player is a very Orc is generally an offensive race. They're very aggressive, and they're really good at harassing, especially with the Blade Master, although you don't see the Farseer as much anymore. That's also one of the options there. So you just got to know how to move your units around. You see Soju actually has placed his wisps in a his wood wisps actually in a very good position behind his Altar of Elders. So if you don't do this already, and you're afraid of that Blade Master harass hurting you while you're teching, what indeed Soju is, put those wisps behind your mine. And as an Orc player, you need to try to do some harassing, especially when your opponent's teching, so you can get some added advantage of hurting their economy, whatever. Alright, so the Demon Hunter chasing down some grunts over there in his base. Now this is pretty much what the Night Elf player needs to do at this point, as the Orc player is going to try to be solo harassing with his hero and trying to creep a little bit with his grunts, some lower level camps that he can. So the Demon Hunter and the Night Elf player can keep tabs on the Orc opponent. He can probably get an early grunt kill, maybe find one that was recently creeping and took a lot of hits from the creep camp, or you can just go ahead and run him down with just your Demon Hunter. Some item choices, you want to take a look at both the Demon Hunter and the Blade Master have both opted for Dust of Appearance and the Boots of Speed. I generally, in almost every game I play, even as human, I typically get that Boots of Speed as soon as it's ready from the Goblin Merchant, if it's available on the map. Boots of Speed, here's the theory behind it. If you do get them and your opponent doesn't, then you're going to be able to chase down his hero and you're going to be able to chase down his units a lot easier. If your opponent does get it, Boots of Speed, and you both have it, then you really should have it versus an opponent who does. Sorry, I'm not explaining this right. If your opponent has Boots of Speed and you don't, you really need it to be able to counter the effectiveness of that Boots of Speed on your opponent. So Boots of Speed, generally something you want to get. Like I said, I've been playing human a lot lately. I even get it on my Archmage, and when I hit tier 2 I pass over to my my Mountain King, but as a Orc, it's really good to have it on your Blade Master. Generally, you can even sell it early, late in the middle or late game part of the game. You don't generally have to keep it on there at all points of the game. Just kind of use, some common sense. Decide whether if selling that for the resources that you can get are more beneficial at a given time. We'll watch, because I think Focus does indeed end up selling his Boots of Speed in the later parts of this matchup. So you also notice this is actually a shorter replay. Most of the Night Elf and Orc games tend to be relatively short, unless it turns into some kind of expansion war or something like that. Generally under 15 minutes or so is about kind of the average for these matches to be played. In fact, for Orc, because they're since they normally rush tier 2 or they get it relatively quickly and they do a lot of harassing, they're very aggressive a race, you generally see most of their games in almost every matchup that they play ending within the 15 minutes or around the 15 minutes. Generally, that's kind of how it runs. So, I don't know, you can kind of decide if that's good for you or not, or knowing that knowledge, you can kind of see where you're at with your own gameplay there. So I don't want to be shoutcasting this, but you'll notice that they are trying to keep tabs on each other and not let them creep freely, and that's why you see all heroes are relatively low level here. The Demon Hunter is the only one who's level 2 at the moment because of that early creeping, probably with that Ancient of War. That was the only camp he was able to get out. Check this move out here by Soju. His Blade Master is getting a lot of hits by some archers in this Demon Hunter here. He's going to switch out his Blade Master's position with a grunt to continue holding that surround on Soju's Demon Hunter, which is a very, very slick move there, and it's almost, I can barely pull off surrounds myself without that, but he was able to complete that surround of the Demon Hunter, move his Blade Master out of danger's way, and force that TP, which is what his goal was at that point. If you can force a TP around this point in the game, right before you're going to be getting your tier 2 power, which in this case is the Raiders and the Spirit Walkers, then your opponent's either going to have to spend the resources and pick up another Scroll of Town Portal, or he's going to have to be without that during a crucial part of the match. So if you can force a TP, you definitely want to do it right around before you're going to be getting your tier 2 army. And even if you just don't want to have a fight happen, that's when you want to have to force the TP there. So both players just creeping again, nothing too much to speak of. This is an interesting creep camp. The Goblin Merchant that Soju's creeping out, he actually killed off that Ogre Magi first and was able to get that Watcher Ward there. Now that Watcher Ward ends up being pretty annoying here for the Blade Master, because a lot of fights end up happening around this Goblin Merchant because it's in between basically the Orc space and the Night Elf space. And this is kind of the middle grounds where they tend to meet more often. Also, dots. Everyone knows about dots. If you're an Orc player not familiar with dots, the reason they're so effective, especially if you're going to be going a Blade Master, is with that Fairy Fire. Now, Fairy Fire not only negates the armor on units like your grunts and stuff, but it also gives them field of vision. So it's like free map pack on your units when you have the Fairy Fire on you. Also, Cyclone, very, very annoying. We'll see that in action as well. Most dots games you will end up seeing Cyclone. So here again, this Watchword proving to be a little bit of trouble for the Blade Master, getting all his mana burn after wind walking, and then getting a mana burn on from the Demon Hunter. So a little bit frustrating there. Now, take a looking at hero choices for the Night Elf player. Now, this is the common way for